So in this podcast series, I'm going to take a segment of the blueprint. This is the results, the purpose, and massive action, RPM, kind of related to my automotive background. But I'm going to tie this into a series that we're going to do this week. And this is a segment from the seminar. This is a segment from the blueprint. And I'm going to walk you through day by day for the next 5 days on kind of walking you back behind the scenes through the podcast, talking directly to you on how to use the blueprint with RPM. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
So welcome back. This is actually the podcast where we're talking about RPM. This is the second step in the No Comfort Zone blueprint. Would help me basically get out of adversity, get out of my own head, and get on the path from average back to a path of success. And what this is really all about is getting rid of the victim mindset, getting out of blaming others for where you're at in life. I was at a point in my life where I thought to myself, I'm just tired of being average. I'm tired of not living to my potential. I'm tired of waiting for my life to happen. And I had everything going for me. I had a lot of good stuff happening in my life. I got through a lot of adversity. I was still in the middle of dealing with or closing some loose ends that were just, ruminating over and over and over again. They just wouldn't close. But the worst of it was over. Now I just had to tie up some loose ends, but they were taking forever. And like everyone, like everyone, we're all going to have problems in our life, but I was at a point where I was just like, man, I'm afraid to reach out. I'm afraid to really go for it again because I've done it so many times. And although I've had success, I was never able to succeed. Easy for me to say. Let's just keep it real. I was never able to sustain success. It just wasn't something I could keep. It seemed to be very elusive. When I got it, I held on to it for a minute, but then I always seemed to give it away for stupid, self-inflicted adversity that I caused upon myself, whether it was through behavior, through what I would say other people's fault, through reality just kicking me in the teeth. And then I realized something, and this is part of the blueprint that I want to go over with you. I had to have, for real now, I had to really incorporate this instead of just talking about it when I was on stage, instead of preaching this in sales meetings to sales teams. I had to have the victimless mindset. I really, truly had to start to incorporate in my life is that I am 100% accountable for my reality, no matter what. Something bad happens, it's my fault, no matter what it is. So when I incorporated that this is my reality, I'm supposed to deal with it, and this all happens for a reason, whether I agree with it or not, it's my reality and I'm 100% accountable, my life seemed to change for the better. Because then, listen, then you can actually, success isn't a luck thing. Success is earned. When you work hard, when you do the right thing, the next right thing happens. And we've talked about it countless number of times on this podcast. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the segment specifically RPM, results, purpose, and massive action. And then we're going to tie it up with WIN, the acronym WIN, what's important now. And that's pretty much the outline. So let's get into it as far as this goes. So this really comes down to this podcast specifically, this segment is all about change. You have to be willing to be able to change from who you are right now today. You have to be willing to change into the person that you want to be. And part of that is you have to know who it is that you want to be. And then you're going to have to carry that version of yourself in your mind on a continual and regular basis. The best way that I know to do that is have that vision in your mind's eye of what it is that you want that person to look like, and then draw it out in a journal, meaning like write it out in a descriptive on that person that you want to be. Emulate who that person is that you want to be. There's a lot of followers out there. And I can tell you this, I'm a good follower. If I've ever worked for you, if we've ever met, you know I'm a good follower. I can take direction very well. I can follow it. I can excel. It's been said in my business world is that I don't just approve the numbers, I improve the numbers. And that being said, it's not an arrogant point of view. It's a reality. I go into a place and I improve the numbers. And anybody that can do that is worth their weight in gold. And that's one of the reasons I've actually enjoyed some success in my life is because wherever I go, through excitement, engagement, energy, enthusiasm, a little bit of knowledge, but mostly just a great attitude and some competencies and some discipline, I'm able to increase some numbers from a sales capacity. So why am I tying that into this is because I really believe that if you want to change and like go from a follower point of view to become a leader and have people follow you, I think you're going to have to change the person that you currently are. And I think you're going to have to look at yourself differently because you're going to have to see yourself as a leader. And I do believe in order for you to be a good leader, you are going to have to be a good follower. You have to have that empathy. You have to have an understanding of what the people that are going to be following you, you have to understand who they are. That's for another different podcast, but that's what this one's all about, is it's a podcast about changing who you are. And this particular podcast, if you just listen to this podcast, I have full, I would have full accountability that this particular specific podcast can change a lot for you in your reality. There's a lot of value in this. And whether I was speaking in sales seminars and management seminars or in small group meetings, specifically in the retail space, but there's a lot of value in this. And this is really a lot about problem solving. This is about talking to employees. This is about dealing with people in your family. This really will change your idea about how to approach problems. And I want you to consider the value that this brings. And then I want to hear back from you. So at the end of this podcast, if you do hear something that you like, hit me up at dan@thenocomfortzone.com. dan@thenocomfortzone.com. And let me know what you think. So if you're going to face any adversity that you have going on, any problem, whether you have it, your people have it, any situation that you have, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to grab a pen, literally grab a pen, grab a sheet of paper, and you're going to have to write it down. You're going to have to clarify. You have to identify exactly what that is. You're going to want to spend about 10% of your energies identifying what the problem is. I'm going to break that down even further. Just identifying what the problem is, you're halfway there. That's only going to require 10% of your energy. What is the problem? I love the movie Moneyball. Fantastic book. Great movie. I watch it way too many times, but there's a scene in the movie, if you haven't seen it, it's not a spoiler, but Billy Beane, the general manager played by Brad Pitt, he asked the question, okay, what is the problem? And everybody's dumbfounded. And even though they think they know what the problem is, nobody really knows what the problem is. Dealing with the Oakland A's when they have to gut their team and start over again, and they just don't have the budget to create some of the players that just left. That's not a spoiler, or I didn't give away anything in the movie, but check it out if you haven't seen it and let me know what you think about that movie. So what I want you to know is that just by identifying what the problem is, writing it down and understanding you have a problem, you're halfway there. But 1% of that energy, you have to ask yourself, how did I get to this point? How did I get to this point? Not how did somebody put you there, but how did you get here? How did you wind up in this space for you to have this problem? For example, I got fat because I make really poor decisions. I eat really late at night and I don't exercise. I eat really bad because I'm trying to fill a space because I stopped drinking alcohol and stopped using drugs to fill that space. So I overcompensated with something else. When I got in and when working out and those other things didn't help because I got injured, I decided to stop moving very much and I decided to fill that hole with food. And the more weight I put on, the worse I felt about myself, the more food I ate. Does that sound familiar? Are you doing that right now? It's called a failure cycle. And we talk about that in the blueprint as well. But when you understand what the problem is and you understand how you got there, you stop. You quit beating yourself up. You leave it alone. You know what the problem is. You know how you got here. Now we're going to live 90% in the solution. And here's how this goes. You have to understand this. You have to understand what is the result that you want. Please understand, you have to know what your end goal is. What is the outcome that you're looking for? If you focus on every problem that you bring to a manager, to your leader, if you as a leader have a problem, if you focus on the end result first, keep the end in mind. Where do you want to go? If you want to sell something, keep the close in mind. If you want to solve a problem for a group of people, what is the end result that they want? If you have a personal problem, a relationship problem, a money problem, what is the end result? If you put that down on a sheet of paper, the end result is blank. I will be happy when this happens. This means success to me. If you jot these things down, if you have them in front of you, you know what the problem is, you know what the solution is, you know what the end result is that's going to solve that problem. Then you're going to have to ask yourself this, and that's really about 10%. It's just knowing about that part. What is the end result? And then you have to know why. What is your purpose? Why is it important for you to solve that problem? You really have to drill down here. And this is crazy, but you're not going to spend a lifelong journey trying to figure this out. It's super simple. 10% of your time is spent very purposefully focusing on why. Why is this important to you? And if you can do that, if you can just figure out very simply, why is this important to you, and write it down in its simplest form, you're halfway there. And I already said you're halfway there by identifying what the problem is. Now you're halfway there about solving your problem. Now here's the scary part. Here's the part where everybody messes up. And I can't tell you enough that there's people just stop. People procrastinate. People freak out. People look for advice. Stop talking to everybody about what you're going to do. Stop writing to-do list at this point. We've already written down enough as it is. Stop planning. Stop calculating. Stop strategizing. Stop getting buy-in. Stop collaborating. Just stop all the nonsense. Not nonsense. What I want you to do is I want you to really consider this. I want you to don't even consider it. I just want you to do this. Start doing something. Take a foot in that direction and just go forward. Whatever it is, whatever your purpose, whatever your why is, whatever result you're looking for, take a step in that direction. As you know, I'm in the business of selling cars. That's what I do. That's my full-time job. That's what makes me happy. I manage a dealership, 2 of them. They're side by side. They're located in the same building. It's Mazda and it's BMW. And that's what I do on my day-to-day operation. I meet a lot of great people. I have a lot of great people that I work with. That's what I do. I have a lot of problems that I have to solve. I get to collaborate and work with a lot of people. If there's a problem, and I literally am put in the forefront, it is immediate. You have to take a step. You have to understand, okay, what's the problem? What do I have to do to solve it? How do we get here? And basically, okay, what's my end result? And then I just have to start working as quickly as possible towards an end result. Otherwise, it starts to stack up. The problems start to mount so fast. There's so much going on. And then sometimes you might have to delegate. I'm in a role where I can delegate and I can get the best version of somebody. But let's go to my personal goals. When it comes down to me and mine and what I have to do and what you're going to have to do, you can't delegate. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to get involved in your journey, in your life. And you're going to have to make a good step in the direction that you want to do things, because that's what's important. You taking the step, you taking that direction, and make mistakes. Create the adversity, create the problem. Hence, success and motivation in the no comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. Make the mistake. Try something. To put the effort in, fail, keep failing over and over again, but keep trying, keep coming back at it, do a new approach. And there's a secret to this. At the end of the day, write down what you've learned. It's so important that you do that, because that adversity is a huge lesson. What did you learn? What didn't work? What did work? There's so many lessons that we can look at other people who failed and have then finally succeeded and what they failed over and over again. You know, Edison, how many times did he screw up and not invent the light bulb until he finally did? There's so many things that we can look at. We can learn from other people to make your life a little bit better. But having the result that you want in mind and the purpose and the reason why you want to do it, and then taking massive action on a daily basis is so crucial. I have so many people that I work with that ask me the question, what am I doing wrong in not achieving my goals? And I don't want to take away from some of the other podcasts down the road that I'm going to do in this segment, but you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not doing enough. What's important now? Not 10 minutes from now writing a to-do list like I suffer from. I've been down this road. That's why I can talk so freely about it. But what can you do right now? And then do it. Then do it. I'll have you know it's about 11:48. I got to get up super early tomorrow because tomorrow's my crazy day. Tomorrow I got to get up really early. Tomorrow's a full day for me. I have to open the dealership when the service department gets there, and then I close the dealership at night because I chose to do this. I chose to get more actively involved because I want to put myself into a no comfort zone mindset where it's going to be difficult for me. And I'll tell you this, 3 weeks ago, I decided to do this and put myself into overwork myself. And I was really like anticipating how difficult it would be. But now that I'm doing it for 3 weeks, it's not so bad. I'm developing, I'm conditioning, and I'm getting to the point where actually I'm looking forward to it. But more importantly, by working really hard in these long hours, because I don't have to. Where I'm at, I don't have to. I could work enough and still get a good result, but I'm looking forward to do this because I want to make change. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about change. And if I'm looking for change and if I'm looking for different results, I've got to put myself into a different comfort zone. I got to push myself. My result is I'm looking for a bigger result. And the purpose is I'm trying to enhance the whole body of the group that I'm with. And I want them to excel. I'm asking them to do better. I'm asking for them to do more. And that's what I want you, the listener, to do. I want you to write out what it is that you want. What do you want to change? What success are you looking for? What do you have to do in order to find fulfillment? And then start the journey. What's the massive action that you have to take, and take a step in that direction? Because whatever it might be, whatever reps you have to do, phone calls you have to make, exercise you have to do, money you have to save, money you have to stop spending, relationships you have to start, relationships you have to end, whatever it is you have to do, tomorrow is the day that you're going to start doing it. That's getting out of your comfort zone. What are you committed to? Who's holding you accountable? If you need an accountability partner, I'm your guy. This is one of those opportunities that you have where you can say, okay, I don't have an accountability partner. Here's what I want to change about myself. Go to Dan at the No Comfort Zone and let me help you walk along the way. What are you suffering in your life right now that you're tired of being average? You want to go to the next level? That's what this podcast is all about. Helping you go from point A, average or below, to go to that level of success. Listen, if you can do the best that you can possibly do, let's just say money is a goal, and you earn $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in a year, but you're doing the best you can, congratulations. That's success. If you're doing $250,000 a year and you're dragging ass and you're just winging by and you're miserable, well, you're not very successful. You should be taking this podcast seriously, and you should actually write down what it is that you want to change about yourself, and then you should put it through the blueprint, through segment 2, results, purpose, massive action, and let's talk about this. What's important now? What can you do right now, regardless of what time it is? What can you do right now to enhance the quality of your life right now? Not tomorrow, not 10 minutes from now, not at 11:51, it's 11:51. What can you do right now at 11:51 if you're listening to it at 11:51? Can you do right now to make life better for you in the next few minutes and moments later? Because that's what it's all about. It really is. Your life's happening right now, whether you believe it or not. This is your reality, and this is a reality check. And everywhere along the way in a no comfort zone period, you're going to get reality checks. And this is a reminder. This is your life. This is the one that you've created, you've designed, and whether you know it or not, you're in it. It's happening. So why not design and create the life that you want to be a player in, that you're proud of on every aspect, the relationships, the body, the bank account, on all those things, and look back on this minute and moment and say, I know when I made the change. I heard this podcast and I remember it's up to me. If it has to be, it's up to me. What resources do I have right now that are holding me back? What resources could I use that could move me forward? What lessons have I learned that I need to write down that got me to where I'm at today? If I was 100% accountability for all the bullshit in my life, I'm not going to blame anybody else. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to say, what bullshit has been holding me back? What have I blamed other people on? All of my relationships in my life that failed, they're my fault. All of the financial ruin that I've created, it's my fault. All of the situation and choices that have made people sad that have been in my life, it's my fault. All the business deals that have gone wrong, it's my fault. I'm going to take responsibility for it all. Now what? Now what can you say? All of my issues that I have, it's nobody else's fault. It's mine. Now what? I want you to do the same thing. See how empowering it is. Now that you're in control, now that you're in the driver's seat, where do you want to go? Because you can go anywhere you want. You literally can go anywhere you want. And I'm going to suggest this, and I'll always say this on this podcast. I hope that you have some sort of a spiritual background. I hope that you're praying. I hope that you have a connection with your Creator, that you know the author of the story that you're in right now. I hope you have that, because that's such a huge, crucial part of your success. You ask a lot of successful people of why they are successful: the family, the bank account, the business, the friends, the relationships, and all that stuff. God's a big part of their life, and it should be a big part of your life too. I'm not preaching, I'm teaching, but I'm telling you right now, it's a big part of why people are successful. And if you're looking for overall purpose and happiness in your life, God's got to be a part of it. I'm just telling you right now. So listen, as we close on this podcast, this segment right now, and I've got a few more coming this week, so you're going to have a whole week's worth of this segment on results, purpose, massive action. What can you do right now? What's important right now, and carry that throughout the day. Write down what your goals are. Write down what it is you want to accomplish. What are the results that you're looking for? Write it down. I don't care how stupid or crazy it is, because if you start working at it daily, it's just bound to happen when you start working on it daily. That day will come when things come to fruition, but you're going to have to work on it daily. And you have to know what you want. You have to know why you want it. And you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.